here to talk a little bit about the mechanics of this circle and give you a little bit of a visual representation of what this circle of safety means and what it is. Right now I'm standing with my usual holster on that I wear. I do happen to wear a cross draw, and as you can see, my cross draw has a, my revolver has a stick stuck in the bottom of it to match the direction of the muzzle. And that's actually where my muzzle points on the ground from my holstered revolver, as you can see. My cross-draw holster is pinned at 27 degrees, plus or minus a little bit. Very carefully pinned there for this representation. So it's not quite all the way to 30, but it's less than 30. So this is an accurate visual representation of what you might see for this circle. As you notice, on the ground around me is a white circle. It's a 4-foot diameter circle or a 2-foot radius. And if I stand with my cross draw in the middle of the circle, this gives you a good idea of where my muzzle, while it's holstered, is pointing into the safety or the circle of safety. As you can see, I can maneuver around in any direction here. Pardon the wind, it's a little windy today. Maneuver around in any direction, and you can see that the stick points into the circle of safety. As I'm turning, as long as I'm maintaining my circle of safety around my revolver, it's the extended center line of the muzzle impacts all the way in this 2-foot circle, or this 4-foot circle of safety. Now that's the idea of what we're talking about. The concept basically is to say that if a person brings their muzzle into the circle of safety, that anything is possible. Because right now, under the current rules, if this is downrange, i.e. the targets are that direction, right now there's nothing stopping a strong-sided holster shooter to draw at any time as long as they're pointed straight down. There's nothing in the rules that prevents that at the moment. I can do this with a strong-sided holster all day long. However, we have this problem with the cross draws. Typically in the past we've had to be pointing downrange or be standing in such a way that you're wearing your cross draw pointed downrange before you draw. But what we're suggesting is because we already have this accepted circle of safety around us with our strong-sided holster and revolver, why not define this circle of safety and make it usable for cross-draw or canted holster shooters? So, the premise being, let's say that I'm shooting on the range right now. So I finish my string, I bring my muzzle down into the circle of safety. It's pointing in my circle of safety, as you can see. And as long as it's in the circle of safety, I can holster my revolver even to a canted holster, as long as it's maintaining my 30-degree maximum angle. So as you can see, as I do that, I'm maintaining my muzzle still inside the circle of safety. So I'll just get the camera to come up on me for a second, and I'll show you this without the stick. Again, the concept is this. I'm shooting downrange with my pistol. I bring my muzzle down into my circle of safety, and then I can holster my cross draw without pointing in the downrange direction, because my muzzle is in the circle of safety. So I bring it down into the circle, and as long as I maintain in the circle of safety, I can holster my cross draw. And because the cross draw is less than 30 degrees, it always points in my circle of safety. See, I'm wearing my cross draw holster once again with my stick representing the extended center line of my muzzle. I can move and maneuver within my circle of safety, and as you see, Joe, being the RO, can stand and still maintain control of me. He still can touch me, and still outside of the, he's still standing outside of my circle of safety, even with a cross draw. So he's close enough that he can maintain control of me, but far enough away that he still is outside outside the circle of safety of where my muzzle or my muzzle impacts the ground. And this circle of safety moves with me. And basically this circle of safety is centered on the revolver. It's centered on the revolver because that's the point of danger or the point of fire. It's not centered on me as a shooter because I'm drawing from this point, so it's off-center from me somewhat. But if you draw, you can see the muzzle being the center of the circle makes the most sense because that's the point of danger. Now, as long as that muzzle is maintained in that circle, even with a cross draw, I could stand even with the cross draw uprange of me and still holster, because it's within my circle of safety, and the RO is still outside the circle of safety. So, having heard all the information, seen the demonstrations, looked at the drawings, I'd like you all to think about this concept, talk about it with your fellow shooters, and give the feedback to your territorial governor. We have a territorial governor summit coming up in December of this year in Las Vegas, where we will be voting on this concept, whether to accept it or not. But on behalf of the RO committee, we'd like to encourage you all to accept it. We all believe it's a very safe, viable technique, and it will allow shooters to draw and holster from all kinds of holsters safely. It's a simple technique because shooters only have to do two things: ensure that they are wearing a maximum 30-degree canted holster if they're wearing a canted holster, and maintain that muzzle of the revolver in that circle of safety at all times. As long as you maintain that muzzle in the circle of safety, everything should be fine. And we accept that as a safe, viable procedure. But I will say the caveat is that your holster cannot be more than 30 degrees. So we have to get serious about enforcing that 30-degree canted holster rule. And as for range officers, you can still maintain your position close to the shooter and still maintain a safe distance and stay outside of that shooter's circle of safety where his muzzle may be pointing. So with that information, we encourage you to give some positive thought to this and tell your territorial governors that you think it's a good idea. And if you don't, well, we understand that. But the committee, we like to think that it's a good, positive procedure and a good solution to sort out these problems that we've been seeing. Thank you all very much for paying attention to this, and hopefully I'll see some of you in Las Vegas at the summit.